Co-President Elon Musk's group DOGE claims that they're eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. However, when you look at what they're cutting, and they're saying, well, we're very, very transparent about what we're cutting, right? Well, one effect of that is that it shows that the stuff that they are cutting is not because of waste, fraud, and abuse. It's because of the fact that they are ideologically opposed to these programs and to this spending. This is according to two veteran Republican budget experts. Okay. So we're not talking about the opinion of leftists or even liberals. No, these are conservatives. These are right wingers that are saying this. Ones who are concerned about the budget. Okay. Now, one of them is Douglas Holtz Eakin, who was a former Republican director of the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO. They're the ones that release these scores, and on how much it's going to certain bills are going to impact the budget. So now, Holtz Eakin, sorry, said the agencies that Musk and Trump have been targeting to date actually account for only a small fraction of the overall federal budget. So you're really not going after the big fish, right? In fact, he says, quote, they are not going into agencies that are doing things they like. They are going into agencies they ideologically disagree with. And they're not even saving taxpayers a significant amount of money in doing so. According to the DOGE Live Tracker, right? The department, which really isn't a real department, okay, has allegedly only saved taxpayers about $37.69 billion since it began the work on January 20th. So now you could say, well, they just haven't gotten to everything yet. Sure. Now, for one, how do we know those numbers are legit? We do not. There seems to be a lot of trust me, bro, going on here. But of course, the reason that a lot of Republicans love this is because, number one, it's stuff they don't really understand. And number two, they've been primed to hate it anyway. According to the other Republican, former Republican staffer and director of the Senate Budget Committee, Bill Hoagland, he said the cost-cutting efforts so far have been designed to play to Donald Trump's base and have been, quote, low-hanging fruit for ideological reasons. The playbook has not been for the dollar savings, but more for the philosophical and ideological differences conservatives had for the work that these agencies do. Got it. So, their entire thing is, I don't like it, therefore, it is it is waste, fraud, and abuse. So you agree with feeding hungry children overseas, and so you consider that to be fraud. Okay, got it. Now, speaking of waste, fraud, and abuse, right? What about the Defense Department? Now, Trump says, oh, Musk, you should probably take a look at that. You might find a lot. Well, probably. I mean, the Defense Department cannot pass an audit. The military-industrial complex accounts for so much waste. If they actually took a look at it and actually got them to reduce, the military budget by a lot, right? That would be great. I mean, you even have some of these conservative outlets that are reporting the government is paying $1,300 to $1,500 for coffee cups and $150,000 for soap dispensers. And yeah, if you can get away with get rid of that, that would be great. Okay, but what about the main issue is weapons that don't work? Things like that jet F-35 or whatever that seems to have a lot of problems. Do you think DOGE is going to touch some of those things, some of those contracts? I don't know. That said, I'm sure that there's got to be a lot of Republicans that are outraged at how much we've been spending on the military, especially now that, hey, there's a lot of Republican voters that are anti-war, or at least they're saying that they're anti-war. I'm anti-war as well. So I would love to see a massive reduction in the Pentagon budget, okay, and no more wars overseas, okay? That would be great. I'm not necessarily sold on Donald Trump being an anti-war voice, though. I mean, the left has been talking about cutting the Pentagon budget and being anti-war for a very, very long time, right? Of course, every time we talk about it, it was like, oh, why do you hate the troops? Why do you hate the troops? You got to support the troops. What? No, it's not about It's not about that, okay? Most of the money in the Pentagon budget doesn't go to the troops; it goes to the defense contractors. Okay, these private corporations that have government contracts that are very, very lucrative that they don't want to let go of. And speaking of lucrative government contracts that will not be touched, you have SpaceX. Okay, getting an additional $8 million in funding just on Monday alone. They made $8 million in a day. Now, this new award is part of a contract SpaceX received back in 2020 to support NASA's development of a human landing system integrated lander. Now, this is a near $4.5 billion contract total that was supposed to end and has been extended to 2027. So, Elon Musk getting some sweet deals here, right? And that follows the $21 million SpaceX received on January 21st, the day after Donald Trump's inauguration. And he will also likely get a contract with the State Department to sell them a bunch of Cybertrucks. But don't worry, Musk, he has no conflict of interest. In fact, he's too rich to have a conflict of interest. I mean, how could you even suggest such a thing? He doesn't actually need the money. Really? Sure. Yeah, okay. I don't believe you.
Really?
Yes. But getting back to the things that they are cutting from the government, when you look at it, a curious pattern seems to emerge. See, out of the 15 agencies Musk's team have targeted so far, turns out 9 of them were singled out for elimination or downsizing in Project 2025. Now, that document makes the hilarious claim that all these agencies, they've been taken over by the left-wing elite that has been using taxpayer money to push a liberal agenda weaponized against conservative values. Yes, feeding children in other countries is weaponizing against is being weaponized against conservative values. Conservative value of letting people starve. Great, awesome, sure. Look, all this is fever swamp stuff. Okay, straight from Newsmax. Oh, the liberal indoctrination of weaponizing government against conservatism. I mean, okay, but unfortunately, thanks to Trump, it's now the law of the land. I mean, Russell Vought pretty much co-wrote Project 2025, and he is now the director of the Office of Management and Budget. So, the pretty plum role to which he can weaponize government against the left, and that's what he's doing. Now, that said, one of the agencies that Musk is trying to get rid of is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB. Now, this is the agency that's responsible for returning $21 billion to consumers who were ripped off by corporations. Yeah. But no, he's like, oh, we got to get rid of it. Rip it right out. Gee, I wonder why you want to do that. Look, the CFPB has a $711 million reserve fund. But Musk, he's like, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to rip up the CFPB. But don't worry, I'm going to return that money to the taxpayer. I think they should get it. Really? Well, how much is that going to be? That's going to be a $2 windfall for every taxpayer. Yeah, boy, that's certainly so worth so much more than having an agency there to protect us from being screwed over by these giant corporations, which has returned billions of dollars in ill-gotten gains to the taxpayer. But thank goodness we're going to get a $2. Wow, $2 return. If we're talking about efficiency, let's do the math, huh? That agency, again, has returned about $66 per person in fraud reimbursements, but costs roughly $2 a person annually. When you do the math on that, it's about 3,000% efficient. Okay, that's its efficiency score, 3,003%. So obviously, though, Musk is like, it's so inefficient, we must get rid of it. No, of course, the real reason that he wants to get rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is because he wants to rip off consumers. He wants to make money. He does not want to be regulated. That's very, very simple. Okay. And look, one of the big things that he's trying to do with his X platform, okay, is turn it into a payment app. All right. Why do you think that he had his wonderkins get into the treasury? I mean, when the day that payment app is ready, do have you thought of the possibility that some of these kids put in a back door to that treasury payment system that allows him to take control and to flip over that payment system to using his app? So that all the government payments would go through him, $6 trillion worth, allowing him to skim as much money he wants off the top, or even more disturbing, the possibility that he could stop payments to people or groups he does not like, people who might have badmouthed him online. You don't know. That seems to be too much power concentrated in the hands of one unelected billionaire. All right. When it comes down to it, this is really the more efficient way to take over a country. Not with force of arms, but with the money. Control the banking, control the finance, and you control everything else. That is the real path of tyranny, people. And we're just about there. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.